or 16. I guess that was a time when that generation, they're the ones who were really smoking because this is like during the war and after the war when cigarettes were like, it became a big thing. And it was fashionable, I guess, to smoke during that time. And I think it was also considered a stature to smoke. He was a heavy. I'm a witness to that because I remember there were times when he would have like poker games for 3 days straight, and they're just sitting there, smoking and drinking the whole time, and it's like a chimney in the house. There's like a cloud of chimney in the house. The smoke was like everywhere. Until at the age of 46, he had to consult a doctor because he got sick. I think he had bronchitis. And then the doctor's diagnosis was that his lungs were already so black, and that he already had emphysema at the time. And this was like in the 70s. So immediately he went cold turkey. So which is good, but I guess the effects of smoking has already done its damage. But apart from that, he was also asthmatic. So I don't think that's also a cause for alarm because he had like poor lungs to begin with. It is funny because like the only time we found out about his sickness, of course during the time nobody knew what COPD is. So it's a form of emphysema. So nobody could like really explain what it is. And then the only time the family discovered that he was sick was this is when he turned 80. When he turned 80, he bought this, it's like a machine. It's like an oxygen tank, but it's not a tank, but like an oscillator. Oxygen concentrator. So he had to carry that all the time with him. So we even have to ask permission from airlines. And since I'm the one, because there's one time we had after his 80th birthday, we had a tour in the United States. We had a 9-city tour all over the states, or what? America and North America. And then I have this certificate from Dr. Aquina, my dad's doctor, that he has to carry this oxygen concentrator because. Of course, when you're in the plane, he cannot use the oxygen because everybody's going to use it. So he cannot be the special one. So he had to bring this oxygen concentrator wherever he goes because, of course, the pressure in the air is different. So it's a good thing. I mean, if it's Philippine Airlines, it's easy for us because they know him. But of course, when we were traveling through the different cities, we had to explain about his condition, and at the time we were just saying, oh, he has COPD, and nobody knew it. Nobody wanted to make a big thing out of it, especially my father. Actually, my father kept it from us. So it was only Jaja who knew about it. And then during the course of the tour. Specifically, there was a Reno show, the third leg. All of a sudden, he had shortness of breath, and he was having difficulty. His blood pressure was going up, and then so he was scared. I knew he was scared because it's written all over his face. And then when we had our prayer before the show, he was like, "Oh Lord, please help me do this," and blah, blah, blah. And then there were nurses and doctors there. So we were all worried. And in that particular leg, I produced the show, so I was more worried about giving back the money of everyone. But of course, I was worried about my dad too. But since I produced that show, I was like, oh, come on, please stop. But if that happens, I can't do anything, right? So blood pressure was like high, like 180 over something. And then it was his turn. And then I said, Dad, are you okay? Are you sure you can do this? I'll do this. He did a show. I guess he heard thunderous applause. Right after that, he went back. They checked his BP. Everything was normal. So I guess it's just, that's his life. He just loved to perform. And I guess part of the reason why he kept it from us was because he didn't want to alarm all 18 of us. Until finally, Jaja approached me and said, Eric, you have to do something because your dad is sick. And yeah, I know, yeah, but your dad is really sick. And then then we started talking. I started talking to the doctors, and then he announced it over lunch. We had a family lunch in a restaurant because that's what our family does. Our bonding time is eating, having lunch or dinner, So prior to that, I already spoke to Dr. Aquino, so I saw that when we explained to my family, I was, I'm sure I knew that they were going to be asking questions, so I wanted to be aware of the sickness. So I studied and I, tried as much as possible to know what I can with the disease. It was very emotional for the family, syempre, knowing that the disease was a progressive disease and there was no cure. And that there was no timeline given. It was not given like 3 years or 2 years or whatever. He said it's progressive, there's no cure, and he will just slowly deteriorate. So at the time, like I said, it was difficult for the family because we knew that he was eventually going to succumb to COPD. So that was the bad part, knowing the disease and how to cope with it. But in a way, it was also good for the family because we, as a family, started to become more solid. My dad had several units, but we became one big, solid several units. So. And of course, we were all like, there's 18 of us, even different mindsets, 18 different opinions. But somehow, we had a common denominator. It was my father, and somehow that brought us together. And we made sure that he was following certain rules. So we became very strict on him. But if there was one thing that he mentioned to us is like, never take away my work from me because it's like you're killing me more than my disease. So allow me to make movies still and to be able to do my television shows, which we did. Until one time it reached a point when Jaja called me, we had a taping. Jaja called me and said, Eric, your father's not reporting anymore. He is sick. He just had the pneumonia. And of course, pneumonia affects the lungs as well, so which adds on to the severity. Anyway, and so I said, okay. So I told everyone in the set, okay, we're packed up because my dad cannot come. While I was announcing, my dad calls me on the phone. And he calls me and tells me, I'm coming. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell Jaja, but I'm coming. So I said, Dad, no, he cannot come. No, I'm coming. So he came to the set. It's his life. He can't take that away from him. So, and then it reached a point when the only thing, like I said, the one thing good about it is that it brought us together. The family became more solid. But it was sad because we were seeing our dad deteriorate. And I know that, we were all kids who became caregivers. But one thing good is that we're 18, so we don't have to like, we can still work and spend some time with him. But meron talaga, it came to a point na may toka-toka talaga. There are days na I'll be there, or my brothers, but like I said, since we're a lot, so hindi ganun kahirap. So, so he had like an hour each, mo parang ganun, an hour and a half each a day with each and every one of us, including siya pa pala. So an hour and 15 minutes. So yun. So and then when that day arrived, it was funny because like when we saw him like from normal and then he like slowly like being bedridden. Then he would have like back-to-back pneumonias. Yeah, he was his regular. My dad is galayan eh. He loves to travel and loves moving around. Hanggang sa it came to a point that ang ano na lang niya is hospital, bahay. Naging ganun na lang talaga yung buhay niya. Hanggang sa we made a hospital at home. He had like doctors coming to our house. He had like a 24-hour nurse care. And it was also very expensive. On our part, it was also very expensive.